Welcome back, Wheels and Weavers, to something I'm actually very excited to be playing, Lobotomy Corporation. Now, this game, I'm a bit late to it, came out in April of 2018, so it's over 3 years old now, and I've just really wanted to play this for a while, because this game absolutely fascinated me, and I loved watching it on YouTube when it first came out. And the only reason I didn't really buy the game straight away is because at the time it came out, I didn't have a PC that could realistically run it. And now I do, and it went on sale, so of course I went and got it. Well, it was only £7. So yeah, this game, for those of you who don't know, basically all the context you're going to need is this game is essentially letting you be the manager of your own SCP facility. It's not with actual SCPs, like obviously it comes up with its own abnormalities as they're called in this game, but essentially you are running an SCP facility. Which is a pretty cool idea. Already that got me hooked from off the bat, and as well as that, I actually have to admit I'm not going into this blind. As I said, I've been watching a whole lot of this on YouTube because I didn't think I'd get the opportunity to play this before. I haven't seen literally the entire game, but I've seen a lot of it. So I'm not going to lie, this isn't going to be a super blind playthrough, but I mean, I've been so excited to play this, I'm still going to obviously do a playthrough of it. Even though it would have been best played blind. I'm still not going to spoil it for any of you who obviously are going in blind if this is the first time you've seen this game. I'm not going to like give away what everything does, even if I already know what it does. So anyway, how about we start? Oh yeah, and just two things before we start. One, there are going to be resets. That's just a thing that's going to happen. And two, I think it got fixed up a bit, so it might be better now, but the translation of this game is a bit rough because the developers are Korean, but it should be understandable. The story might get a bit confusing, especially when it tries to do metaphors and then translate them, but I think the story's actually really good once you get deep into it, so it'll be worth it. Anyway, yep, let's go. It feeds on the evil that seeps out during conversations between people. This is our first abnormality, and every time you start a new save file, you will always start with this one. But from now on, like every one we're gonna get different ones. Hello, X. I give you a warm welcome to Lobotomy Corporation. I'm Angela, your advisor and secretary. My role as an AI is to assist you in adjusting to your new workplace, so please have no worry in speaking with me or asking any questions. Even an AI can have a nice name, did you know that? I was born from one of the wings of the world. It signifies that I am one of the best to exist in Sage. I know what you must be thinking. You're sure that you think I look too human to be an AI, am I wrong? However, there is a great difference between us. I am bound here. I cannot go wherever I please like you do. I may be able to operate the systems of this corporation to open a door, prepare a cup of coffee for you, but I cannot take a step outside this building to bask in the sunlight or feel the gentle breeze. Now, in regards to my appearance, as you can see, I'm gonna skip this bit. Basically what she's saying is like, yes, obviously this has got a bit of a white thing, not as some people put it. Basically she's just saying how she's made to look pleasing, but it's not like that kind of game, don't worry. But artificial intelligence is much more efficient in comparison to humans in terms of multitasking. I'm the best in a majority of work fields. I'm able to handle the work of several dozen people at once. I'm certain many people have lost their jobs because of me. It's such a shame. Well, enough introductions. Is there anything that you would like to do now? Oh, sorry, that you would like to know. You may be wondering how the hell I thought I said that. My mic is partially covering the screen, and I just saw now and not the K. I thought it must be do now. Well, I don't think I want to get her to talk even more about herself, so I'm going to say this one. That's not a bad thing to ask about. Let me put it this way. The world is constantly growing, and the demand for energy is exponentially increasing as technologies advance. All conventional energy sources combined could not sustain the world further. In search of a solution, we happened to stumble upon mysterious beings whom we dubbed abnormalities. Then we figured out that energy could be harvested from these abnormalities via a special method. To isolate them in a controlled environment and then to harvest energy from them. Our corporation became one of the wings of the world for this discovery that benefits humanity in two ways. Once you are fully placed into the role as the manager, you'll be able to access all current information on the abnormalities from the encyclopedia. It is very important that you know and understand these beings well to be successful in your position. For now, the encyclopedia's pages lay blank, but it will be filled out little by little. Don't concern yourself too much with it. It is the task of your subordinates to pen it. You have joined the company at an opportune moment, by the way. Lobotomy Corporation is always looking for ways to improve its harvesting process. Our systems are continually updated to support this. Speaking of which, there was a new update to the system right before you arrived. That means that the working conditions have been improved upon compared to those of your predecessors. Think of it as a small welcoming gift. Best of luck for us. I was just about to mention, you don't understand the concept of patience, do you? I'm part of our manager. I was talking to one of the other AIs that work here. I should introduce her to you. Our facility is a huge one, and even I would have had trouble managing it on my own, so someone determined that there should be an AI to assume head control of each department. If I were to be considered the cerebrum, there would be the cerebellum. Naturally, of course, I should be your most trustworthy and capable companion among all the AIs. Well then, shall we greet her now? You can hear Rush's footsteps from behind. Manager, I arrived just on time, right? The time is only about 1 minute late. Well, I guess it still counts as on time. Congratulations on joining the Lobotomy Corporation, Manager. I do not want to disturb this touching moment, Malkuth, but every second counts in the Lobotomy Corporation. Please make sure your introduction is as brief as possible and go prepare for this meeting. Seems Miss Angela isn't in a good mood today. But hey, at least the other Sephiroth are looking forward to meeting you. So, these different managers of these different areas are called Sephiroth, and I guess apparently the plural of Sephiroth is Sephiroth. Again, I don't know if that's a translation error, but that's actually the plural of it. That sounds very strange, but then I know there are some strange plurals out there, so I won't be surprised if this is actually correct. Well, maybe not all of them. Oh, where are my manners? My name is Malkuth. I'm in charge of the control team. Since we're the control team, we have a great deal of responsibility. I'll try my best to help you by improving the basic functions of the facility manager. I'm sure you're a bit nervous right now. It just takes a bit of time to get used to things around here. I know from experience. But don't worry, I'll be sure to help you. I am not exactly the best at everything. I used to be a problem sifferer, you know. I would sew buttons onto a shirt in the wrong direction or add salt instead of sugar to food. But still, you can do it, just like I managed to. I'm sure you'll succeed, Manager. I'll give you an easy task since it's your first day here. I wish you the best of luck. Wham, 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 wham. I can't take it anymore, Manager. You're in there, right? I have to get out of here, please. I know you're capable of it. You're the manager. You're not the same as the rest of us. You can do anything. Why? Do you want to quit? Don't you like working here in the control team? Every day here's a delight for me. It's so horrible. I can't take it anymore. I'll go insane. Nothing here is normal. Do you really think you can't handle it? Please, I don't want to be here. Let me out of here, please. Manager, even though you're the head of this facility, that employee belongs to my department, so I believe I can take care of this. Let me handle this, please. Thanks for acknowledging my position. Please don't be alarmed, these kinds of things happen quite often. Oh right, it must be the first time you've seen something like this. Usually Miss Angela or I handle this kind of stuff. It's just a tiny hiccup, nothing for you to worry about. No, please, Manager, please. Okay, so these different people we're going to meet, we can do tasks for them and they will basically give us upgrades to make their days easier. So our first goal is to complete 3 work processes with the abnormalities. Pretty easy. Let's start our first day.
Yo, Roberto!
Okay, so you can hire employees using these lobotomy points and use them also to upgrade their stats and rename them and customize them. But I think the first one you get is always just already made and kind of random. But I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like the look of this one already, so I'll take it. Oh wait, I guess I should probably hire another one since I'm able to. My voice became pretty hard to hear here, but basically all I was saying was I'm not very good with coming up with my own names for characters. I want it to you, the comments, to name a lot of these characters that I'm going to have. Yeah, just give me all of your name ideas if you have any, all in one comment, and I'll add any that I see. I'm not going to lie, if I don't get suggestions, I'm just going to name them after characters I stand. A.G. Nico from One Shot. Let's start. So here is our first abnormality. Floating skull thing on a cross. When you open this up, you can find all the information that you can get on this abnormality, but we're not going to have any of this information yet, not until we start making some energy with this. So this is one of the reasons why I said resets are going to happen, because when you first get an abnormality, you just always have to send someone in to work on them without knowing anything about them. And as you can imagine, especially with the more dangerous ones, sometimes that means that people just die and you can't really do much about it. But you can just restart the day. For a second I literally thought that I had the language set wrong. It's just... whatever this is can see straight through you. Floats gently in the air, moving sluggishly. Sometimes you can get a bit of a hint about how they work from these, but sometimes it's just your Punisher. Well, he seems to be liking this for the most part. As Nico's work proceeded, it did not respond at all. Oh, we did get one bad result there. To be willing to bear pain is half the atonement. So, basically, when we send someone in to do work, they have a percentage chance of getting an energy box or a positive enkephalin box, is to be use the proper terminology, or a negative enkephalin box. If you get a negative one, it doesn't take away your energy, but it means that the abnormality will attack your employee. But this is a Zayn class abnormality, which is the weakest class. There are 5 classes, just like how there's Safe, Euclid, and Keter in SCP. There's Zayn, Teth, HE, Vav, and Aleph. So Zayn is the weakest class, and the type of damage this guy does, you may be thinking he attacked him, he didn't look like he was very aggressive. Well, this thing does white damage, which is psychological damage. You may notice that these employees have... Oh wait, I forgot, you actually can't see them until you unlock the ability to see them, but they have 2 health bars basically, a red one and a blue one, and the blue one is their sanity. And if they lose all their sanity, they don't die necessarily, but they'll panic and you'll lose control of them, and they'll do things that you don't want them to do. There's multiple different things they can do, and I think, if I remember right, it's based on whatever their highest stat is, they will act differently. But they can do things like let other abnormalities out or fight with your other employees, so if they panic, it's pretty bad news. Anyway, so we got the basic information on this thing, but I keep thinking I need to click the name to do work, I don't know why. But let's let Nico try attacking this thing now. I tried Insight last time, I didn't even mention that. Yeah, there's 4 types of work you can do, and they'll have different reactions to those different types of work. Then again, I guess Insight worked pretty well. Oh yeah, when it comes up with that like exclamation mark calm thing, it's basically just saying, like, when they see something that might be traumatizing to them, they'll instantly take some psychological damage. So obviously most of the abnormalities, as soon as they see them, they'll take some psychological damage. But it says calm just to say that it's barely either, I don't know if it's either they take no psychological damage or they barely take any, but either way, basically it's not caused that much damage just from seeing them. But yeah, it seems to like attachment 2. So we can find out how it responds to these different types of works. We can get its escape information, or we can unlock the managerial tips. I'm going to unlock those so we understand how this works, because usually these will tell you what the actual gimmick of the abnormality is. So its name is One Sin and Hundreds of Good Deeds, and what it will do is it will restore the employee's mental health when the work result is good. And after the maximum number of like PE boxes is produced, so if you get a perfect, if all 10 boxes are positive, it will heal the mental health of everyone in the department. So you can see very easily already how this is why this is the first abnormality that you always get at everyone, because it's very easy to deal with. It's not very aggressive. It can deal some minor psychological damage, but as well as that, as long as you're nice to it, it will psychologically heal you as well. As well as that, a couple of things have appeared now. We can see his Ego Gift and Ego Suit. So the Ego Gift is a benefit that you have a percentage chance of getting every time you work with this abnormality, with whichever employee you send in. So I don't think they've got it yet, but when I've sent Nico in twice, they've had a 5% chance both those times to get this hat, which will give them +2 sanity and a 10% better chance of getting better success rates with this abnormality in particular. We can also, if we get more boxes with this abnormality in particular, we can spend those boxes on making armor using what we know about the abnormality. This armor is pretty bad, which makes sense because it's like the weakest abnormality, but it's an option. It will make us take 10% less red damage, which is physical, 20% less white damage, 10% less black damage, which does both physical and psychological at the same time, but we'll take double pale damage. Pale damage is extremely rare, but it's basically the best type of damage, and it damages only their health, like their physical health, but it will do it based on percentage instead of like a flat number, which means that in the late game with super high health things, it's much more powerful to do that, you know, based on percentage. Anyway, we've got enough PD boxes to buy one more of these. So we tried Insight and Attachment. It seems to like both of those. Let's see what it thinks about Repression. Yeah, it doesn't like Repression. The employees have 4 different main stats, and they basically correspond to the 4 types of work. So one of the stats is Justice, and if their Justice level is 1 or 2, then they'll get a common result, so they'll get kind of an even mix of negative and positive boxes. And if it's level 3 or higher, then they'll get a low result, so they'll get lots of negative boxes. So yeah, it doesn't like Repression, but it does like us going in to do Attachment or Insight. Now, we can just end the day now, because day 1, we only have to get 15 boxes. However, it is beneficial for us to keep going right now, because essentially, I would put this in fast forward, but I just forgot you had to unlock that too. You unlock a lot of these basic things very quickly, basically, every time you do work with an abnormality, it will also raise your corresponding stat, and I believe it's by a very small amount, and I don't think you actually get the benefit until the day is over. So it's annoying, there's sounds outside. Hopefully that isn't getting picked up too much. But yeah, so we can basically get some free extra benefits here, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be kind of try-harding here. I feel like that's one of the benefits that I could get from having a non-blind run, is that I can obviously go in much more prepared. Anyway, let's get this thing's escape information. Well, this thing, surprisingly enough, does not escape, and there's also this thing which is left blank. So every abnormality, well, I say every, this is an example of one that doesn't, but almost every abnormality will have something called a cliff-off counter. And because that's so annoying to say, I'm just going to say clip-off, because even though I know it's not clip-off, it's cliff-off. Cliff-off is so much harder to say, and everyone I watch just says clip-off anyway, and I don't know, that feels better to say. But yeah, basically this counter is the counter before they do something bad. It's usually escape, but some things won't escape, but will do something else if you let the counter hit 0 that's also pretty bad. Like, for example, if something can't leave the containment, it might instead force someone to come into its containment when its counter reaches 0. Or it might do something remotely to kill someone without even having to be near them, and things like that. But of course, since this is a nice easy abnormality, it doesn't escape and it doesn't even have a clip-off counter. So yeah. By the way, as we've been unlocking all this stuff, we've been increasing this observation level. And when we got the first one, we got a 5% increased chance of getting success when we work on it, and then extra speed and more success. And then when we get to the final level, we'll get even more work speed. To get to the final level, we just need to fill out these last few ones. So let's send Nico in again to do some more attachment. To be honest, I probably should have done that while I was talking about all this stuff. And then that should get us enough boxes to buy all these, and we'll have everything maxed out on one sim. Okay, so what just happened there is a cliff-off meltdown. This day 1 is complete, is kind of covered what just came up. But basically, this thing in the top left, every time we do work, it will count up. And when it fills, it will cause meltdowns, so that basically you can't ignore the abnormalities. Because if you ignore them, they'll never get out. But to counteract that, so you can't just ignore an abnormality that is really dangerous, they'll make it so that every time you do a certain amount of work, a bunch of random containment units will have a meltdown, and if you don't go to work on them in the next 60 seconds, then the clip-off counter of the abnormality inside will lower. So yeah, it likes attachment the most. So yeah, this thing's going down. I'm still going to work on this, even though nothing's going to happen if it hits 0, since one sin can't do anything terrible. Because even if the abnormality can't do anything bad, just so you still want to deal with these meltdowns, you actually lose energy if you let something melt down, even if it won't do anything bad. Sins and Nico shall reach once in 100 good deeds soon. Oh, by the way, I can pause this, by the way, as well. Wait, just a minute, what's the hotkey for that? There's spacebar. Okay, that's good to know, because I didn't know that. There's no eyes, it recognises the presence of Nico. Who doesn't? Yeah, we've already seen that one. Yeah, those white clouds are the damage. That means psychological damage has happened. So yeah, that's everything. I mean, we can now make some armor if we want. I guess I will make it since we have no armor yet, so there's no reason not to make it. But yeah, it's not very good. And of course we got an S because, I mean, it's day one, it's nice and easy. So, as you can see, we did insight work and temperance and attachment work on it. And it's a little bit dark, but over here you can still just see the stats. Temperance is the stat that links with attachment, and prudence is the stat that links with insight. And so since we did some insight work, our prudence went up by 2, which means that we now have more sanity. And because we did so much attachment work, we've actually got a lot more temperance. And temperance not only helps you with attachment, but also increases your work success rate and your work speed. Let's go to the next day. We also got 3 lobotomy points to get new employees with. So now we get to pick our next abnormality, and this is something I love about the game, and it's the reason why for a lot of people it's better to play blind. Because you can pick which abnormality you want, technically, but unless you already know a lot about the game going in, you won't know which abnormality is which. Because all you get is a quote out of context from their backstory. So we got, everything will be peaceful while you're under the fairy's care. However, the curse continues eternally, never broken. And this is a recording of the day we must never forget. So, obviously, I don't know what any of these are exactly, although I can get an idea of what some of them are, just by those blurbs. Now, another thing that's actually helpful to know that you won't know going in is that the letter that these things start with also give you a hint. I don't remember what all of them are, but I know for sure that F ones are based on fairy tales, and usually they're twisted versions of like fairy tale creatures and stuff like that. So obviously these would be fairies. And I know this one, I think I'm going to take it, is one based on Beauty and the Beast. As for this one, I do not remember for sure what T is, but I think T means tool. Anyway, I'm going to take this one. Just because I feel like it's one of the best examples of what this game's going to be like. By the way, I'm going to stop this video when I get to day 2. I was thinking I'd do a few days, but obviously it's taken a lot longer to do this than I thought, because I want to go through this thoroughly so that no one's confused when they're watching later. I just realised I didn't even read that out, but she was just saying, face the fear, build the future, which is the motto of the company. That's the motto of our founder, the one we refer to as A. Tell me, if you had to choose one, which part of the motto do you prefer? Build the future. The future is inevitable, but ever undecided. One may simply lie atop the sand of the future, or they may shape it with purpose. Lobotomy Corporation is an innovative company. The harvesting technologies we've discovered are such a... Please excuse my lack of vocabulary. It's simply remarkable. These technologies could be the salvation of mankind. With these, we will mold the future, create brand new paths. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I already mentioned, but the music in this game is sick. I mean, you might not have been super grabbed by it so far, but like, we haven't gotten to the good tracks yet. Anyway, there was a bit of a confusion last time, wasn't there? Usually I'm in charge of the security of your office. However, it seems that I failed to pay close enough attention to the Sephora meeting room. I heard that a control team employee has resigned from the corporation. Good job. You do know what it means to resign here in the company, don't you? I'll take that as a no. I do sometimes miscalculate what information I should deliver to you and what I shouldn't. Some aspects of our company that I considered natural and obvious may come as quite a shock to you. We have a variety of roles here. It's like a well-structured play. Every actor has a role that they must be faithful to with their part without any error, synergizing with each other. Now imagine that one of the actors decides to leave the stage because they didn't like their role. The actor should have played their predetermined part as the predetermined timing before making their exit stage left. But to leave the stage without fulfilling their part means that the life of the role and its actor are finished. That is what we mean when we say someone resigns. Great job, manager. You did exactly what I asked of you. I knew you could do it. You'll never guess how much I rooted for you back there. As for me, the day went alright. We covered a joint emergency protocol group 19. Not a single dropout or injury. Everyone did a good job. Not to say that it was perfect, though. By the way, manager, have you seen something creepier than the abnormalities? Those entities that wander the facility unable to be contained, and sometimes they manifest themselves in the corridors. The drills do no good when you encounter them, since we don't have enough data on them, so we always have to stay alert. No matter how meticulous our plan is, we can't control the unknown.
Sometimes when I encounter them, I get a strange feeling. It's not like fear or anything, it's some other sensation. Strange, isn't it? I feel nauseous, like something within me is palpitating out of control. It feels like I'm no longer myself. How can I describe it? Like something's wriggling inside of me. Little by little.
Okay! So we got a new goal. Complete 4 work processes with a good result. Should be pretty easy. So, now we can unlock one of the control team's upgrades. We can either unlock fast forward, joint command, which isn't going to be useful right now, but it's going to be more useful when we get multiple departments. If I remember right, this gives you a button at the main room of the department that you can just click to make everyone who belongs to that department go into that room, which can be good when you're making people move from department to department and you lose track of them, to just be able to click a button to instantly get them back. But right now we only have one department, so that's probably the last upgrade I'm going to get. Oh wait, no, that's what the assembly summons is. What is joint command? Oh, I guess until you get this, you can't even tell people from other departments to come work in other ones. But again, I think we're just going to go for game speed acceleration for now, since, you know, we don't have to worry about other departments yet until we unlock the next team. So anyway, we could hire another employee, but I don't think there's much point, because we only have 2 abnormalities, we have 2 employees, that's fine. I'm just going to save our points for now. Now, I'm not going to lie, we are going to reset this day. Because I could just, because I already know what this abnormality does, I could just not show you its gimmick and just take advantage of the fact I know exactly how it works. But I'm not gonna lie, this is cool and it's a really good example of how this game can, like, catch you off guard. I already know that the work that this abnormality likes most is actually repression, so I'm gonna send Robertus in to do some repression. We need to speed up and slow down, that's good to know. So yeah, we're getting some pretty good energy. He's taking a little bit of psychological damage, but he seems to be fine. Man, for such a horrific looking thing, that wasn't so bad. But then, let's unlock some managerial tips. Committing repression work with it showed the best energy results, but it negatively affected the health of the abnormality, and any work other than repression was found to improve the health of the abnormality. So this seems a bit strange, because you're like, well, I mean, not to be cruel, but why do we care about the health of the abnormality? You may easily think, well, why don't I just send it in to do repression again? I mean, what's it going to do? Is it going to die? I mean, isn't that good for us? Because, I mean, this thing's definitely going to try and kill us, right? So, what happens if I send them in to do repression again without doing any other work to let it recover? I know you can already guess it's not good, but I don't care. It forever searches for someone to lift the curse. However, the curse continues eternally, never broken. Death is another form of joy brought by birth. Yep. After repeated repression work, it collapsed with a weak moan onto the floor. Once it had passed, the Maki, this is just an example employee, who had carried out the work process, began to suffer unidentifiable symptoms. Soon, it was born anew. So, just in case you do not understand what happened still, understandable, when you kill this beast, all that happens is whoever killed it becomes the next beast, which means we have now lost Robertus. Which is why I mentioned that we're going to be resetting a lot, because obviously when you find a brand new abnormality, you saw there, even if like I wasn't doing that on purpose, if like I didn't get enough energy to unlock the tip that would tell me in time that that would go wrong, I could have potentially figured it out, but obviously there was no definite there, so you know there wasn't much that could be done about it. I guess I'll send this guy to do work at the same time right now. So yeah, for that reason, we're likely going to be having these moments of having to go back and forth and retry because we make a mistake with an abnormality that we don't understand yet, and it causes us a massive setback. Now, I did say that I know what a lot of the abnormalities do already, so you may be like, oh, that won't be a problem, but I haven't seen literally all 110 abnormalities. I've seen most of them, but I haven't seen literally all of them. So like, yeah, I could still come across one I don't know what to do with. So actually, I don't know what it likes most besides repression, but I guess I'll try insight. You see, I would try attachment, but I know that, again, this is kind of giving away things that you technically shouldn't know yet, but I know this thing basically like hates itself, and that's why it likes repression, is because it wants to die. So I feel like attachment might not actually be the right thing. I don't remember what it is, because I just remember repression's what it likes most. Let's have Nico try in some insight. Either way, I'm pretty confident that Nico's not going to die in here, even if you get some bad work results. Because again, this thing does white damage, but doesn't do that much. Oh, it doesn't like insight. It does not seem to like insight, unless that was just unlucky. It might just be meh on insight. I might have been unlucky. Never mind, I take it all back. Guess it really doesn't like insight, huh? Apparently it was... Oh, I did just get unlucky. It's common. Okay, so this is frustrating, because, you know what? No, not the memory repository, just restart the day. Oh god, I didn't mean to restart twice. Okay, so that was just unlucky, because... Okay, right. We're learning. You see, it's different when you're playing it than when you're watching it, because I've never seen anyone actually take enough psychological damage from this thing to go crazy, so I just kind of... Excuse me? Excuse me? Excuse me? Did I just get 3 negatives in a row when I'm doing the work it likes the most? 4. I swear to god, if Nico loses their mind again. I'm literally doing the work you like most by far. Just a moment. High. It's literally all high. And yet somehow he hated that. Okay, right, okay. I'm gonna send Nico back in to work with 1 second. He's not gonna struggle with that. Where's Roberto? There he is. Okay. Well, he doesn't seem to... Well, no, it said insight was common. I think I just got really unlucky. I don't know, I'll try instinct. I don't think instinct is bad, but I don't know if it's good either. I probably should have paid attention earlier, because I think I already unlocked it earlier. Okay, I guess Nico's doing more attachment work. Oh, no, it doesn't seem to like instinct. Oh, are you gonna go crazy again? Okay. I just realised, maybe Nico went crazy because I don't remember if I actually let him stay in this room long enough. This room, they regenerate health in this room. So yeah. Anyway, I should probably get a weapon, because I just realised when Nico panicked, I was looking for a way to do white damage, and I don't have a way to do that because I didn't have a weapon. I just realised I didn't even put the armour on. I bought the armour, but I didn't actually put it on anymore. You have to do that at the start of the day. Well, anyway, yeah. So this weapon does wide damage, 5 to 7 damage, which is better than what we have right now, because by default they just have a 4 to 6 damage weapon that does red damage, which is not very good. But essentially, the reason why I want white damage is because, first of all, sometimes they can be abnormalities can be weak to white damage or strong against white damage and stuff like that. And second of all, I want white damage because because if someone goes crazy, there's actually a way that you can get them back without killing them, and that is making sure that you don't hit them with physical damage and you only hit them with psychological damage. You hit them with enough, it can have them regain their sanity instead of losing it. And that means that you can save people after they've gone insane, but that you have to make sure that you hit people, you come to them quickly with people that can deal white damage and not, you know, damage that will actually kill them. Also, Robertus got the the gift from One Sin and Hundreds Good Deeds, so he's got 10% higher work success rate with that abnormality, and he's got 2 more sanity. So yeah, don't want to keep going. Just a moment. I'm kind of mad at that I forgot about these. Okay, so it doesn't like instinct. We got away with it because we had level 1 fortitude, so it's still got a common result, but still. Okay, well, since Robertus now has a little bit of extra SP, because he talked with One Sin, even though he got the gift from One Sin, I'm going to send him in. He's got 19 and Nico only has 17. Also, he's doing repression, so it should be fine, because we were just really unlucky, I guess, with those hits. By the way, I'm doing attachment a lot with Nico on One Sin as well, because personally I think that Temperance seems like one of the better stats, because it increases your work success and work speed. So that just seems like very useful things to have. Justice, I think, is probably the best stat, but the game knows Justice is the best stat, so it makes it hard to get. It's literally more expensive to use Lobotomy points to increase your Justice than anything else. Anyway, okay, so we can now get... well... check attachment. Yeah, it really doesn't like attachment, I was right. At least we got a slightly higher work success rate with this now. I just realised I haven't even been reading the abnormalities backstories, but I think I'll save that for the next video, because, yeah, I want to end this video soon, because it's been going on a bit. Alright then. I'll probably end this video before I start the next day, and I'll just put the equipment on. Let's see, what abnormalities do we have here? Life is only granted to those who hold no fear of death. Okay, I've seen this quote before, but I don't know if I've actually seen this abnormality before. It's one of those ones where, like, I've seen people get it, but not pick it so many times, I actually don't know if I know which one this is or not. I'm coming to you, you who will be reduced to ash like me. I'm not particularly fond of this one. It's a good day, are you still shy today? Okay. This is the only one that I'm not sure what it is, so I'll take it. I'll see if it's something new or not. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know why, but I thought this was an item abnormality. Every 4th day you'll get an item one that you use instead of, like, work with. But we're getting this on the 2nd day, so sorry, the 3rd day, so it can't be an item abnormality. Greetings. It marks 3 days now that you have worked here. The number 3 is a mysterious one. In age-old fables, it is common for a mysterious entity to appear and tell the protagonist to utter 3 wishes. Sadly, I am not a mage or a billionaire that can grant your wishes. However, I do happen to know what your predecessors wished for. There were many inspirations. Common among them was the seeking of some kind of growth. To lead the company to prosperity, to achieve spiritual maturity, you name it, each had wanted to flower in a different way. Which of those 2 would you want? Come to think of it, there was another manager who gave me such an answer. I think spiritual is a rather obsolete term in today's world, so I asked them for the definition of spirit. Then that manager told me, well, I unfortunately do not recall the details of that conversation, but even an AI cannot store every bit. Even an AI cannot store every bit of data. Unnecessary information should be deleted for smooth operation. So you may be asking yourself if your predecessors managed to fulfill their wish. I suppose what happened to the others is not important after all. I do promise to cheer you on for the journey to your final goal, though. You did it again, and you did it flawlessly too. I myself was what I would do. Oh yeah, I completely forgot that I had that quest to do, but I think I did it anyway with all that work. If you look at my notebook, my to-do list is always so full. When I know I can get through it, I should just do my best, like I always have. I know I'm slower than the others. I always have to check my list or I'll miss something important. That's why I have this notebook with me all the time. Can't leave any mistakes, you know. I've been carrying it for so long that it's almost worn out. It's been with me ever since I began working here as a Sephora of the control team. I know that Lady Angela worries about me from time to time, but I've got everything under control. I feel like this is the kind of life I've been yearning for ever since a long, long time ago, and even before I was capable of thinking. It feels as if I've wished for the same thing before, in some other place that wasn't the control team. Malkuth, please, finish the report. I requested it by the end of today. Sure thing, boss. I've got it right here on my list. I'll have it turned in by the end of the day. Well, I should get going now. It's a pleasure talking to you. The AIs here, they're all unstable, with the exception of me. It's especially bad for Malkuth, you've noticed, haven't you? I can't complain though. It only makes it easier for me to control her. Alright, well, I guess I'll get this now. Since this last one's not going to be useful until we have until we've got more stuff going on. Anyway. First of all, let's give this weapon to Nico. How do I actually do this? Oh, okay, you click. I thought you'd drag it. There we go. And, armor. Nico. I don't have more armor, so I can't use the armor for Robertus as well. Okay, and I have 6 lobotomy points. I'm gonna hire a Eurasian. And I was thinking of doing round 7 again. I can't be bothered to sit here and actually customise the character. I might do, and I probably nag me if it didn't look anything like round 7. But I feel like it'd be quite a task to get it done like round 7. So you know what? I think I'm just gonna leave this as just Adam. Besides, it saves me lobotomy points if I don't customise them, just a small amount still. So before I take this, I'm probably gonna just give him a slight boost in some of the stats. As I say, I value temperance quite a lot. I'll get his justice up, and I'll get his prudence up. Yeah, that sounds good. Alright, well then, I'm going to leave this episode here. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.